Write this down. Pressure is not punishment, it's leadership training. Say it with me. Pressure is not punishment, it is training. If you don't fix that in your mind, you will mislabel God's process as the devil's attack, and you will abort your promotion. Some of you have been asking, why all this conflict, this confusion, this weight of responsibility? Did I do something wrong? Hear me. The presence of pressure is not evidence of God's anger. It is evidence of his intention to enlarge you. When God is moving a person from follower mode into leadership responsibility, he enrolls them in a classroom called pressure. The gym of destiny has no sofas. You don't build muscle with marshmallows. You build it with resistance. Write that down. Resistance is proof that there is something worth strengthening. James said, count it all joy when you face trials, because trials produce perseverance and maturity. That is leadership language. Here is the core question we must answer tonight. How do I know when God is moving me from follower mode into leadership responsibility? Not guesswork, not goosebumps, identifiable signs, predictable patterns. Because God is a God of order, not chaos. He doesn't promote by lottery. He promotes by principle. Let me adjust the room. My real love is people like you who are still leaning in. Crowds want comfort. Leaders want training. Jesus loved people, but he didn't trust crowds. He always separated those who wanted bread from those who wanted the burden. If you're still listening, you're here for responsibility. I'm talking to the few who are tired of waiting for someone to call their name and are ready to answer their assignment. Write this down. Misinterpretation is the enemy of transformation. If you misinterpret the season, you will mishandle the process. Pressure will feel like a courtroom where you think God is listing your failures, but it is a classroom where he is developing your capacity. The olive thinks it is being destroyed, but heaven is after the oil. The seed thinks it is buried, but it is being planted. The eagle thinks the storm is a threat, but it is a lift. Perspective is everything. And because I refuse to leave you vague, here is the structure of our journey. I will give you 7 signs that God uses to transition people into leadership. For each sign, I will tell you 3 things. What it looks like in real life so you can recognize it. Why God allows it so you won't curse what you should cooperate with. And what to do next so you can convert pressure into preparation. This is not entertainment. This is equipment. Say it with me. I am not an accident. I am an assignment. And pressure is my training. Now, let's get to work. Write this down. God never calls you into leadership without first restoring you to your original identity. Dominion in his image. That is not a slogan. That is the blueprint. Genesis 1:26 is the manufacturer's manual. Let us make man in our image and in our likeness, and let them have dominion. Notice the order. Image before influence. Likeness before leadership. Identity before activity. You do not lead to become. You become, then you lead. Say it with me. I am not an accident. I am an assignment. Let me do some work on the words. Man, there is not male. It is ish, the species called human. And dominion is not domination. The Hebrew root rad is authorized responsibility, governing as a steward, managing a domain on behalf of the owner. Write that down. Dominion is stewardship, not celebrity. Leadership is not control of people. It is cultivation of a domain. God did not give Adam a crowd. He gave him a garden. Function before followers. Assignment before applause. You keep waiting for a donation, someone to hand you a microphone, a title, a position. Heaven is not giving away leadership like a raffle prize. Dominion is not a donation. It is your design. Titles are positions. Leadership is function. Positions can be conferred. Function must be discovered. Positions can be hired. Leadership must be birthed. Who is the leader in your car? The engine, the battery, the $4 wire. Who's the leader? No one and everyone. Each part exercises dominion within its function, and the system moves. That is leadership according to Genesis. Write this down. You were designed to manage a piece of creation, solve a problem, and carry an assignment. Your gift announces your domain. Your job is what they pay you to do. Your work is what you were born to do. If they fire you, your job goes. Your work remains. Employment is a check. Deployment is a calling. God's image in you authorizes your deployment. This is why the signs I'm about to give you are not superstition. They are patterns of preparation that appear whenever God restores image and activates dominion. Look at Moses, 40 years as a prince learning systems, 40 years as a shepherd learning people, then a burning bush assignment to steward a nation out of slavery. Joseph dreams in a house, integrity in a pit and a prison, administration in a palace, function before rank. David anointed in obscurity, faithful over sheep, then trusted over a kingdom. Dominion began with lions and bears. Esther, an orphan, cultivated into a queen, positioned to steward deliverance. Jesus, the crowds loved bread, but he chose 12. He separated them, trained them, restored their identity, then said, go. That is dominion moving into deployment. Vision is more important than leadership, because leadership without vision is blind management. Vision defines your domain. Leadership serves the vision within that domain. Write this down. Identity produces vision. Vision governs decisions. Decisions create leadership. So stop waiting for someone to donate you a future. Return to Genesis. Agree with your image. Embrace your likeness. Accept your assignment. Say it again loud. I am not an accident. I am an assignment. And my leadership is not a title. It is my dominion expressed as stewardship. Now with that foundation, the signs will make sense. Sign number 1. You can't tolerate what others normalize. Write this down. What used to be normal now feels unlawful in your spirit. The jokes that belittle people, you can't laugh anymore. The gossip in the break room, your stomach turns. The mediocrity that everyone calls good enough, it irritates you. Disorder that wastes time and dishonors people, it's loud in you. Compromise that buys convenience at the price of character, you can't make the trade. Listen to me. That irritation is not arrogance, it's annunciation. It's heaven ringing an alarm in your spirit. Write this down. Leadership is born when toleration ends. Whatever you tolerate, you will never change. Say it with me. Leadership is born when toleration ends. Again, whatever I tolerate, I will never change. This is why you feel different in the same environment. God is upgrading your conscience into a compass. He is moving you from that's how we do it here to that's not how it shall be under my stewardship. Irritation becomes instruction when it points to your assignment. The thing you can't stand might be the thing you were sent to stand over. See, why does God do this first? Because leadership is an internal government before it's an external influence. The kingdom comes within you before it comes through you. He sharpens your sense of right order until you cannot make peace with what breaks his design. Your discontent is a midwife. It's pushing your assignment out of the womb of your comfort. The Holy Spirit is not making you cranky. He is making you responsible. Write that down. Think about Rosa Parks. Everyone had normalized a system that demeaned image bearers. She decided to stop negotiating with dysfunction. No stage, no title. A seat became a statement. History calls it civil rights. Heaven calls it dominion. On Nehemiah, he heard that the walls of Jerusalem were broken down. He didn't post, he planned. He didn't gossip, he gathered. He didn't tolerate rubble, he organized rebuilding. Leaders are the ones who refuse to make treaties with what damages destiny. Let me pass to you with tough love. Stop calling it personality. This is not you being picky. This is you being appointed. Stop praying about what you should decide. Write this down. Action is the proof that my conscience has become a compass. Here's what to do next. Tonight, make 2 lists. First, your toleration list. Write every condition you have been excusing. Gossip, lateness, unclear roles, messy finances, reactive culture, prayer without planning, talent without training. Be honest. Second, your dominion list. Next to each item, define the order you will introduce. A conversation you will schedule. A standard you will set. A system you will design. A boundary you will enforce. A training you will lead. Circle the top 3. Put dates. Put names. Put metrics. Leaders don't curse darkness. They install lights. Say it with me loud. I am not an accident. I am an assignment. The moment I stop tolerating what is wrong is the moment leadership is conceived in me, and I will not miscarry it through passivity. I will steward it into fruit. Sign number 2, isolation finds you. Write this down. When God is transitioning you into leadership, he pulls you out of the crowd. Suddenly, friendships shift, invitations dry up, the group chat gets quiet. Rooms that used to feel like home now feel shallow. And hear me, you're not bitter. Your appetite changed. You're not superior. You're being separated. The taste buds of your spirit are being recalibrated for assignment, not entertainment. Let me provoke you. Jesus didn't trust crowds. He loved people, yes, but he did not build his future on applause. He fed the 5,000 and then slipped away. He taught multitudes, but chose 12. And of the 12, he took 3 up the mountain. Crowds demand performance. Leadership demands formation. Write that down. If you're still craving the crowd, you are not ready for a crown. God is moving you from being popular to being prepared. This is the biblical pattern. Moses spent 40 years in Midian learning the language of solitude before he could speak to Pharaoh. David learned the cadence of kingship, not in palaces, but in pastures, writing songs to God while wrestling lions and bears. Joseph's management gift was refined in a prison where no one was clapping. And Jesus, the Son of God, was led by the Spirit into the wilderness before he announced, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me. Separation before manifestation. Write it down. Isolation is not abandonment. It is detox. God is cleansing you from your addiction to approval. He is removing your dependency on applause so you can hear instruction without interference. Why does this feel so intense? Because heaven is weaning you off noise. The algorithm trained you to measure meaning by likes and views. The kingdom trains you to measure fruit by obedience and outcomes. In isolation, God turns your volume down so he can turn your vision up. He takes you off the stage to put you on the surgeon's table. He is not punishing you. He is purifying your motives. Say it with me. I am not alone. I am being aligned. I am not hidden, I am being prepared. What do you do in this season? You turn solitude into a leadership lab. Write this down. Number 1, journal for clarity. Every day for the next 14 days, sit for 30 minutes with your Bible and a blank page. Title 3 columns. What is ending in me? What is beginning in me? What must be built in me? Write honestly. Track patterns, not feelings. Number 2, study and skill build. Pick one competency directly connected to your assignment, communication, systems, finance, design, counseling, and invest 60 minutes a day learning and practicing it. Leaders are readers and masters are made in private. Number 3, serve quietly. Do something excellent where no one sees you. Organize a process. Mentor one person. Fix what's broken in your sphere and refuse to post it. This is your detox from applause. Number 4, refuse the trap of self-pity. Pity attracts parasites. Purpose attracts partners. Fast from complaining for 7 days. Replace every complaint with a designed action. Say it with me loud. When God is preparing a leader, he removes the crowd to reveal the assignment. I will not chase rooms I've outgrown. I will embrace the room where God is growing me. I am not an accident. I am an assignment. And this isolation is my incubation. Sign number 3, you given problems without titles. Write this down. God often proves leadership in your function long before people reward it with a title. How do you know it's you? People start bringing you confusion, conflict, and decisions even when your name is not on the org chart. Can you look at this? What do you think we should do? Can you talk to them? You become the go-to under pressure. They skip 3 people with rank and slide into your inbox because pressure recognizes authority that paper is not yet printed. That's not flattery. That's a forecast. Why does heaven do it that way? Because leadership is not a seat, it's a solution. Write that down. Titles are labels. Leadership is fruit. Positions can be conferred by men. Function is confirmed by outcomes. Joseph had no badge in prison, but the warden gave him the keys of responsibility because problems trusted his integrity. David had no crown, but sheep, then soldiers, then a nation followed his solutions. Jesus had no office in the synagogue system, but when there was no wine, his mother knew where the answer lived. God tests you with responsibility before he trusts you with recognition. Who's the leader in an engine? The piston, the spark plug, the $4 wire on the battery terminal. Who's the leader? No one and everyone. Each part leads in its function and the whole moves. Take out the little wire and the car dies. Suddenly the insignificant becomes essential. Write this down. Importance is contextual. Your leadership is revealed by the problem your function solves, not by the seat you sit in. Distributed leadership is kingdom logic. Everyone leads where their grace produces results. Let me confront a disease, title addiction. Religious culture loves ranks, chairs, and robes. They anoint people assistant to the assistant of the assistant, but the community remains broken. They celebrate charisma. Do you know the Greek root of charisma? Gifts. Gifts don't prove character. Fruit does. Heaven does not clap for your label. It measures your service. Your job is what they pay you to do. Your work is what you were born to do. If they fire you, your job goes. Your work remains. Stop begging for microphones. If you bring solutions, microphones will beg for you. Leaders don't seek followers. Followers are attracted to leaders. So what do you do with this sign? Write this down. Document the problems you repeatedly solve. For the next 14 days, keep a function ledger. Every time a problem finds you, record 5 things: the setting, the people involved, the exact problem, what you did naturally, and the result. At the end, circle the patterns. Do they always bring you conflict to mediate, systems to organize, vision to clarify, money to structure, people to coach? That pattern is your domain trying to surface. Next, design one simple system or checklist that makes your solution transferable. Test it quietly in your current sphere. Measure outcomes. Refine. Fruit is your resume. Say it with me. I am not an accident. I am an assignment. Leadership is my function before it is my rank. God proves me by responsibility before men reward me with recognition. And I will serve my solution until my fruit speaks. Sign number 4, your inner speed limit breaks. Write this down. When God is transitioning you into leadership, He first expands your mind beyond the limits your environment taught you. What used to intimidate you now feels possible. What used to be for them suddenly sounds like for me. Your desires grow and your thinking outgrows your neighborhood, your department, sometimes your friendship circle. You wake up with a quiet audacity. Why not? Why not here? Why not now? Why not me? Let me give you the picture. Culture posted a speed limit on your street, 40, 60, maybe 80. Parents, teachers, traditions, poverty, even some pulpits put numbers on your life. But look at your dashboard. Your speedometer says 160, 180, 220. Write this down. The limit on the street is cultural. The capacity on the dash is design. On the Autobahn, there is no posted limit. I remember the first time my mind discovered there is life after 170. The car didn't shake. My beliefs did. The governor wasn't in the engine, it was in my head. God is removing mental governance. He is saying, I built you for more. Trust the manufacturer. Leadership is 80% mentality and 20% skill. Write that down. Skills are tools. Mentality is the hand that holds them. You can graduate with techniques and still drive like a prisoner if your belief system is small. Proverbs says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Heart, there is not emotion. It is the subconscious, the hard drive of your life. Your conscious mind takes notes. Your subconscious runs programs. If your program says, people like me don't do that, your feet will obey your philosophy. Your eyes might see an elephant of opportunity, but your belief will call it a threat. The lion's secret is not muscle, it's mentality. Your belief system is your leadership ceiling. Write this down. Permission-based living is slavery to other people's fears. Purpose-based living is obedience to your design. Stop asking, may I? Start asking, must I? Practical next step. Tonight, draft a belief upgrade. Step 1, identify 3 speed limits. You inherited statements like, I'm not a leader. Our family never does business. I'm just a support. Step 2, write purpose-based counter statements rooted in your design. I was made in God's image to steward solutions. My gift creates value wherever I am. I function with excellence and results attract favor. Step 3, record these as a daily declaration and rehearse them aloud morning and night for 30 days. Why aloud? Because faith comes by hearing and your hard drive updates through repetition. Step 4, pair each declaration with one stretching action. Send the email, schedule the meeting, price the service, enroll in the course. Belief without behavior is fantasy. Say it with me. I am not an accident. I am an assignment. My mind is my motorway. The Holy Spirit is removing my governors. I will not live by permission. I will move by purpose. As I think in my heart, so I will become in my leadership. Sign number 5, you start seeing the destination. Write this down. You stop asking only, what do I do? And you start asking, where are we going? You become destination minded. Schedules change, budgets change, conversations change. You begin saying no to comfortable detours so you can say yes to a compelling direction. That, my friend, is a sign. Leadership transition becomes obvious when vision starts governing your decisions more than comfort does. Now hear me with both ears. Vision is more important than leadership. Write that down. Vision is more important than leadership. Why? Because leadership without vision is dangerous influence. A strong personality with no destination is a chauffeur driving a bus in circles. Jesus said, if the blind lead the blind, both fall into a ditch. Activity without destination is religious motion without progress. Chanting, shouting, posting, meeting no outcomes. Don't be impressed with power. Ask where we're going. Don't be impressed with speed. Ask for the map. What is vision? Not a fantasy, not a mood. Vision is a clear picture of a preferred future that solves a defined problem for a specific people under God's authority. Write this down. Identity produces vision. Vision governs decisions. Decisions schedule your life, and your schedule reveals your priorities. When vision awakens, comfort becomes negotiable, and conviction becomes non-negotiable. You stop asking, do I feel like it? And you start asking, does it move us toward the future? That's when late nights become investments, not punishments. That's when friends who love your comfort feel offended by your calendar. You are not rude, you are routed. Let me pass to you with a warning. Busyness can sedate you like a drug. You can be hyperactive and directionless. Without vision, you will waste your gift on errands. Without destination, you will use leadership to manage stagnation. Write this down. The soul that lacks vision will serve anyone with a plan, including your fears. God is rescuing you from the ditch of more of the same. Practical exercise. Take out your journal. Craft one clear vision sentence. Use this structure. I exist to solve this problem for these people so that this future becomes normal. Examples. I exist to organize chaotic teams for frontline nonprofits so that compassion scales with excellence. Or I exist to mentor fatherless boys in my city so that honorable manhood becomes our new culture. Keep it one sentence. Next. Write a list of 5-7 values that will govern this vision. The non-negotiables that define how you move. Integrity, excellence, stewardship, courage, clarity, honor, service. Values are boundaries for behavior. They are not goals. They are guardrails. Put them where you can see them. Then test every decision for the next 30 days with 2 questions. Does this move us toward the future? Does this violate our values? If it violates values, it's a no, even if it's popular. If it advances the future, it's a yes, even if it's uncomfortable. Say it with me. Vision outranks comfort. Again, louder. Vision outranks comfort. I am not impressed by motion. I am governed by direction. I am not an accident. I am an assignment. And here is the transition you must expect. Once vision awakens, God will test whether you will serve the vision with your gift or chase applause with your ego. He will invite you to choose deployment over entertainment, fruit over fans. In a moment, I will show you the next sign when your gift begins to separate from your job. But for now, write the map, then move by it. Sign number 6, your gift separates from your job. Write this down. God's leadership transition often shows up when you can no longer confuse a job with a calling. How do you know it's you? Your effectiveness refuses to clock out. People keep finding you outside your job description, after hours, at church, in the neighborhood, at your child's game. They pull you aside for the thing you do naturally. You organize chaos without thinking. You coach without a title. You create order where there was fog. Your passion ignites off the clock, and your results travel faster than your resume. That is the sign. Your paycheck is not big enough to hold your purpose. Write this down. Your job is what they pay you to do. Your work is what you were born to do. Say it with me. My job is what they pay me to do. My work is what I was born to do. If they fire you, your job goes. Your work goes with you. Employment is a check. Deployment is a calling. When God starts shifting you, he moves you from employment identity to assignment identity. You stop introducing yourself by your position and you start describing your function, your fruit. Let me pastor your fear. This is the part that terrifies you. The familiar feels safe even when it is small. Security without assignment is sophisticated captivity. Write that down. You are not being ungrateful. You are being awakened. Don't be reckless. Be resolute. Heaven is not asking you to quit tomorrow. He is commanding you to stop pretending that your job description is the boundary of your destiny. Begin to serve your gift with integrity where you are and let fruit argue your case. Proverbs says, a man's gift makes room for him and brings him before great men. Not the title, the gift. Leaders don't seek followers. Followers are attracted to value. Fruit outruns fame. When you serve your gift consistently, rooms will look for you. Emails will request you. Tables will add a chair. You won't need to manipulate opportunities. You will need to manage them. Write this down. Value is magnetic. Titles are static. Increase your value and doors obey. Practical next step. Build a gift inventory and a deployment pilot, 48 hours to start. Step 1, draw 3 lists. List A, natural. What do I do without strain that others call amazing? Write 10 items. List B, results. Where have I produced measurable outcomes repeatedly? Saves time, raises revenue, heals conflict, clarifies vision, builds systems. List C, requests. What do people consistently ask me to do or advise them on? Unprompted. The intersection of A, B, and C is your domain. Circle it. Step 2, design a simple offer that serves your domain. Give it a name, a clear outcome, and a process. 3 steps, 90 minutes, or 4 weeks. Write a 1-page outline. Step 3, schedule 6 deployment hours this week, early mornings, evenings, or weekend, exclusive to your work. Got it. No scrolling, no chatting. Serve 2 people excellently for free or low cost in exchange for honest feedback and measurable testimonials. Step 4, track fruit before, after metrics, time saved, conflicts resolved, money organized, clarity increased. Fruit is your resume. Step 5, maintain integrity at your job. Arrive early, exceed expectations, no pilfering time. Excellence is your witness while heaven expands your borders. Say it with me. I am not an accident. I am an assignment. My gift defines my domain. My job is provision. My work is purpose. I will not worship security. I will deploy value. I am moving from employment to deployment by fruit, by faith, by discipline. Sign number 7, unusual resistance intensifies. Write this down. Hell fights what heaven endorses. When your assignment starts to show its face, pushback finds your address. Misunderstandings multiply. Motives are questioned. Character gets dragged by people who don't know you. Spiritual fatigue sits on your shoulders at 3 a.m. Doors that were opened suddenly require keys you never needed. Temptation doesn't whisper, it markets. The urge to quit becomes logical. That, my friend, is a sign. Increased resistance is often the signal that your assignment has become visible in the spirit and leadership is near. Reframe this now. Not every closed door is a no. Sometimes the door is weight tested because you are carrying more authority. Paul wrote, a great door for effective work has opened to me, and there are many adversaries. Write that down. Opportunity and opposition are twins. If no one is resisting, you might not be moving anything. Thieves don't break into empty houses. Waves don't hit parked boats. Pressure is announcing weight. Territory is being contested. Let me mature your spirit. Leaders are not people without battles. Leaders are people who refuse to surrender their assignment to their emotions. Say it with me. I refuse to surrender my assignment to my emotions. Again, I refuse. Your tears may flow. Your feet must not move. Nehemiah had Sanballat and Tobiah. He didn't descend the wall to debate. He stayed with the blueprint. Jesus, after the Father said, this is my beloved Son, was led into a wilderness where the enemy offered shortcuts, bread without process, angels without obedience, kingdoms without a cross. Write this down. Shortcuts are sabotage, dressed as strategy. Now, discernment, both correction and distraction feel like pressure, but they produce different fruit. Write this down. Correction reduces ego and increases excellence. Distraction reduces focus and increases drama. Correction from God leads to repentance, skill, holiness, and peace after adjustment. Distraction from the enemy leads to confusion, condemnation, isolation from wise counsel, and a demand to abandon your values or your vision. If the pressure points you to integrity, training, better systems, and humility, submit. If it pulls you to pettiness, secrecy, offense, and hurry, resist. Stop calling warfare what is simply poor planning. And stop calling correction haters when heaven is upgrading your character. Practical next step. Establish a leadership rule of life. Write this down. Prayer discipline, set a daily, non-negotiable appointment with God. 30 minutes minimum. Word, listening, and intercession for your assignment. Counsel, build a circle of 2 to 3 seasoned voices who can tell you the truth. Schedule monthly check-ins. Accountability, choose one pair who will ask you hard questions about purity, finances, schedule, and speech. Give them permission to interrupt you. Rest Sabbath weekly, God sleep. Implement a digital sunset 1 hour before bed. Fatigue makes foolishness look reasonable. Integrity make pre-decisions. I do not lie. I do not flirt with what I won't fight. I do not sign what I haven't read. I do not spend what I haven't budgeted. I do not reply when I am angry. I schedule answers after prayer. Pre-decisions protect destinations. Say it with me. I am not an accident. I am an assignment. Resistance reveals my visibility. I will not abdicate my post to my feelings. I submit to correction. I reject distraction. I anchor my life in prayer, counsel, accountability, rest, and integrity. And I will build while I battle until the wall is finished. Now hear the verdict of heaven over your life. Write this down. These 7 signs are not random pain. They are a pattern. God is transitioning you by changing what you tolerate, who you depend on, what you solve, how you think, what you see, what you serve, and what you withstand. When toleration ends, leadership is conceived. When isolation pulls you out, assignment gets clear. When problems find you without rank, function speaks before title. When your inner speed limit breaks, mentality outruns environment. When vision outranks comfort, direction governs decisions. When your gift separates from your job, deployment displaces employment. When resistance intensifies, it is proof your profile is visible in the spirit. Write it down. This is not punishment. It is preparation. This is not coincidence. It is confirmation. Let me attack the lie that disqualifies. I'm just a follower. No, trapped in every follower is a hidden leader. Say it with me. Trapped in every follower is a hidden leader. You will never become a true leader until you are introduced to yourself. And who are you? Genesis 1, 26 answers. Image and likeness. Then dominion. Not donation, dominion. You were created to lead and designed to dominate in your domain. The Hebrew idea is rad, to rule, to steward, to govern by serving value. Write this down. Your birth certificate is your leadership license. Identity precedes assignment. Assignment demands responsibility. Shift now from introspection to responsibility. Your evidence is not your feelings. Your evidence is your fruit and your faithfulness under training. Stop measuring calling by goosebumps and count outcomes. Did peace increase where you stood? Did order rise where you worked? Did clarity come when you spoke? Did integrity deepen when God corrected you? That is evidence. Feelings fluctuate. Fruit testifies. Faithfulness under pressure is your credibility. Leaders are not validated by applause. They are verified by results aligned with values. Say with me out loud, like a verdict. I was created to lead. I was designed to dominate in my domain. The world needs my gift. Again, the world needs my gift. I am not an accident. I am an assignment. My job is what they pay me to do. My work is what I was born to do. I will not surrender my assignment to my emotions. I will not trade vision for comfort. I will not confuse resistance with rejection. Write this down. Confirmation requires consecration. If the signs are present, the response must be intentional preparation, not hype, not haste, preparation. Consecrate your schedule to your vision. Consecrate your habits to your identity. Consecrate your relationships to your values. Heaven has tapped you. Now train like it. This is your moment to align belief with behavior, design with discipline, calling with calendar. Don't wait for a title to grant you permission. Your fruit will grant you access. Don't beg rooms to notice you. Make results impossible to ignore. Say it with me one more time. I am not an accident. I am an assignment. And because I am an assignment, I prepare on purpose for purpose. Write this down. If you recognize the signs, your next move is not waiting for a title. It's deploying your gift with discipline and vision. In the next 48 hours, we move from revelation to regimen. Schedule is your theology in motion. Step 1, clarify your field. In the next 30 minutes, write your domain of dominion. Where are you responsible to bring order now? Name 3 arenas: your home, your team, your neighborhood, your business unit. Be specific. Tuesday staff huddles, the youth mentorship circle, inventory and invoicing, conflict culture in our marriage. Dominion is never vague. It is verified by order. Step 2, write your vision sentence. 1 line. I exist to solve this problem for these people so that this future becomes normal. Print it. Put it where your eyes cannot avoid it. Vision outranks comfort. Step 3, complete your gift inventory. 3 lists. Natural, what I do without strain. Results, where I produce measurable outcomes. Requests, what people keep asking me to do. Circle the intersection. That is your deployable value. Give your work a name. Tools obey names. Now the 30-30-30 practice. Every day for the next 2 days. No excuses. 30 minutes learning in your domain. A book chapter, a course module, a case study. 30 minutes serving. Deploy your gift to a real person or team. Solve a small piece of a real problem. 30 minutes reflecting. Journal what you did, what moved, what resisted, and what you will improve tomorrow. Write this down. Turn pressure into curriculum. Every frustration you felt today becomes tomorrow's lesson plan. Pressure is not punishment. It is your syllabus. Tough love, receive it. Stop praying only for change. Become the answer to your own prayer through action. Pray, then plan. Fast, then focus. Worship, then work. Heaven will not do what it assigned you to do. Obedience is the miracle most of you are avoiding. Establish fruit markers before you move. Measurable. Count people, help, names, and outcomes. Systems improve before, after steps and time saved. Conflicts resolved. Who, what, resolution. Value created, dollars found, or waste reduced. Clarity increased. Decisions made and roles defined. Fruit is your resume. Review it nightly in your 30-minute reflection. If there is no change, change your approach. Correction reduces ego. Excellence increases. Build accountability. Text 1 seasoned voice and 1 pair, your 4 48-hour plan, your vision sentence, and your markers. Give them permission to ask you tomorrow, what did you deliver? Say it with me. I am not an accident. I am an assignment. I don't need a microphone to lead. I need obedience to my assignment. I will deploy my gift in the next 48 hours with discipline, with vision, with integrity. Now commit publicly in the comments. Write the sign that hit you hardest and the single action you will complete in the next 24 hours. Your future is waiting on your feet, not your feelings. Move.